7:17 a.m. and I am on the bridge attempting to get to the city, and traffic is a mess today. Usually I don't come around the 7 o'clock hour. I usually come to the city before 7 or after 7, but right now it's gridlocked. I'm gonna have to get all the way up to the front and then cut all the way over from the left lane to the right lane to go through fast track. I don't even have any jobs lined up right now. I'm just crossing my fingers that I can go to the city and accept something on TaskRabbit really fast. Crossing my fingers. Next, I gotta get from the left lane all the way to the right lane. Yeah. Y'all want some food? Free food right here in the TL. That actually looks like it may be vegan. This morning is super slow. I've already accepted 2 jobs. The second job I already canceled. And this job I'm on now is to pick up an item and drop it off at like the post office or something like that. So I'm gonna get ready to go pick that item up. I've literally wasted like 2 hours like of doing nothing. Like I could have just been at home chilling. But I thought I could come here, I thought I could come to the city early and maybe it would be busy, but I had Caviar running and DoorDash running and nothing. They're both like quiet. So I guess I'm gonna go over and pick up that post office order and get ready to take it to the post office. So I thought that order was going to the post office for some reason. It's going to the UPS store. At the UPS store now, UPS store is there. I'm gonna go inside and drop these off and cross my fingers for another order. It's getting close to 10 a.m. and around 10:30 Caviar picks up. So I guess I'll knock out a few food delivery orders too since I'm already here so early. Why not? Believe it or not, this job is pretty simple actually. Hey, how's it going?
Dropping off?
Yeah, I just got these 2.
Do you need a receipt for them?
Yeah, you have a receipt?
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. We thought I dropped them off. That's over with. Whenever I do post office drop-offs, I always try to get a receipt. That way I can text it to the customer and the customer knows that I actually dropped the item off. Because I wouldn't want a customer to say, hey, you never mailed the item. Well, I got proof right here. My proof is here. Just accepted another order. This order is picking up flowers. This is a TaskRabbit order. And I will have to go deliver them downtown. This place is on Market Street, so parking can be a little bit tricky. But I'm not really worried because I can just pay to park for like 10 minutes and run in. I think parking will be okay. First off, I have to go meet the customer at their house, pick up the item, and then drive back downtown. So let's get this party started right now. Just picked up these beautiful flowers. Check those out. This job just popped up on TaskRabbit and it's for like running errands. It's picking up a few boxes and taking them to Oakland and taking 1 bag of donations and dropping it off. And it also says when you're dropping those boxes off in Oakland, the customer wants to ride along too. So I think I'm gonna just email the customer, or not email the customer, but message the customer and just let the customer know that I can do everything on the list except for drive you because we're not technically rideshare, you know? So I have to see what the customer says. Customer may want to cancel, but if the customer wants to cancel, no big deal. I guess I'll accept another job. And another thing about TaskRabbit is I just found out about this, but you can sign up for shifts on TaskRabbit. What you do is you submit your availability, and when jobs pop up, wow, there's a car accident here. And when jobs pop up, like people can like request you. So one job just popped up, and you know, someone requested me or whatever. And this job, so this job popped up and someone requested me, and you have like 30 minutes to respond, you know, if you want to do the job or not. And this job was to take 25 boxes and drop them off at the Goodwill, and this is for Sunday because all of these jobs, they schedule you 2-3 days in advance, so it's never the same day. And I was like, cool, that does sound like a bad job. And then I looked down at the pay. The pay was like $15. And then the person was talking about how this delivery should not go over X amount of time and it shouldn't go past 6 p.m. And I'm thinking, dude, for only what, $12? I'm thinking, what? Only for $15? Man, that's not worth it. I think I'm gonna sign off TaskRabbit automatic requests because I don't see how to make money off of that if they're gonna pay $15 and I have to run back and forth to the Goodwill when I can just be on instant dispatch, and instant dispatch pays, you know, at least anywhere from $21 an hour to $28 an hour if they're not doing a $10 bonus per hour. So I don't know, those other TaskRabbit jobs are just, come on, I'm not gonna do those. Those are like a ripoff. I'll have to drop off the flowers now. Just dropped that delivery off. That took much longer than I thought it would. Just hoping I don't have a ticket on my car and hoping I get all 4 of my windows too. I kind of parked in an area that was a little bit sketchy, Just got pulled over by the cops. Gotta tell you guys all about it. So I'm sitting here at a light and I'm like here and I'm just sitting with my hand, like just one hand on the wheel, other hand, I'm not texting or anything. I'm just, literally, I'm all legal. One hand on the wheel. This cop pulls up beside me. He pulls up like right here, right? Where he can see my hands. And I look over like that and notice there's a cop. Well, as soon as I look over like that, my first instinct was to put both hands on the steering wheel, right? So I'm sitting right at like 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, both hands on the wheel. And, you know, the light changed and I go up and I notice that the cop is like getting behind me, but everything's cool, you know, everything's cool. And there's like a bike lane off to the right and there's a dotted line like right after the solid white line. So I'm getting really close and I pay really good attention when I'm driving about those white lines and broken lines, solid lines and all that. I made sure I put my signal light on right after the white line. So there's no way I could have, you know, crossed over before, because I always make sure I cross over in broken lines and not solid lines, especially when I got a cop behind me and I see that I have a cop behind me. So of course I'm gonna do the right thing, all right? I legally cross, right? And then the cop cuts the lights on, but he cuts the lights on for like 3 seconds, right? And I look in the rearview mirror and I see it and he cuts them off. So at this time, I'm getting ready to make the turn. And the cop's like, as soon as I make the turn, he cuts the lights on. So I just pull over right there in the bike lane. And at first, I was like kind of freaking out because he jumped out of the car like really fast. And the other cop jumped out of the car too. And when the first cop jumped out of the car, he jumped out of his car and he had the nightstick in his hand. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on, you know? Like, what's going, like, what did I just did? Do I fit the description of a bank robber or something? And then they jump out of the car and he goes over there and talks to the other cop, and then they slowly walk up. And he's like, you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, no. And he's like, he's like, the bike lane, you crossed over in the bike lane. And I said, yeah? I said, why'd you really pull me over? And he said, I saw you. And then the cop says, I saw you. You put both hands on the steering wheel right after you looked at us in the corner of your eyes and you look really nervous. What's going on? And I said, of course I look really nervous. There's 2 cops like right up beside me and you both like kind of startled me. Of course I was nervous. Then when I said that, you know, he and the other cop like basically just stood there and looked at me for a second. And then they were like, yeah, let me see your license and registration. And I was like, yeah, let me get it for you, you know? So I like reach in my wallet and give him my license. And I'm like looking for the registration, which for some reason I can't find the registration in this car. I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, what did I just get pulled over for? Did I just get pulled over for the bike lane, or did I just get pulled over because I look suspicious? Like, what's really going on? So they go run the paperwork, run everything. And this dude's like, look, man, I'm gonna let you go, but I just wanted to just make sure everything was cool. That was just a really that was a very suspicious move you did, and I just wanted to make sure everything was cool. Watch the bike lanes. Yeah, watch the bike lanes. But yeah, I didn't get a ticket, but I called his ass out. Like, I straight up called his ass out. Like, What you really pulled me over for? I ain't no damn fool. Like, come on. I wasn't born last night. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. You can't pop that on me. I wonder if I would have received a ticket for driving in the bike lane. I just wonder, or would he like just take my license, run my license, and then give me a warning and say, hey, don't drive in the bike lane if I wouldn't have called him out. I'm just trying to figure that out. It would have been really messed up if I would have received a ticket, because I know for sure I did not commit a crime. I don't know, this is just not cool. I remember the cop asking, he said, so, man, I just moved around here. I just don't know how it is. And I said, well, cops are pretty chill around here. I said, they're not like cops in New York. And he was like, I'm from New York. And I was like, well, if you're from New York, you know what I'm talking about. At the house now, warming up some food. And this is a lot of vegetables in here. It's funny, in the comments of my other video, someone wrote, you need to start eating real food. And guys, let me tell you, this is real food here. There is beans in here, there's chickpeas, there's squash, there's zucchini, there's corn, carrots, pasta, there's even white beans in here, onions. This is really good. I know how to eat, believe me. Of course, I had to stop at my favorite place, Best Buy. Today's Vanessa's birthday and I have to get her a gift. So one gift I thought about getting her, since she has an older iPad and she's trying to trying to get the photos off her iPad to her computer, I'm gonna get her this adapter so she can do that. And I'm also gonna get her some other gift, but I think we're gonna have to go to a different store. I already got one item. Now the second item is a water bottle. We're down in LA. She left her water bottle at the art show or whatever. And I don't know, maybe it's just a California thing, but people around here are addicted to their water bottles. I love my water bottle. She loved her water bottle. Her water bottle costs $50, so I'm gonna see if they have one here. Back at Sports Authority, I was just here yesterday, here again. Hopefully they have a water bottle. Cross my fingers, cross my fingers. Well, thought I would try Home Depot next, because I did remember a place in the city, a hardware store in the city that had these bottles. So maybe Home Depot can possibly have the bottles here. Need a grill? Check those grills out. I know exactly what I want to get Vanessa, and I got two options right now. I can either drive to Berkeley in traffic and cross my fingers that REI have this water bottle, or I can just take Bart to the city and just go to that place where I know that they have the water bottle. I don't know, I'm stuck on this one. Just like that, the city and Bart it is. Gonna take Bart over to the city, go exactly to the place I know that have the water bottle and just buy it there. Make it simple, right? No traffic. I get to sit down the whole time. So I have less than 2 minutes to wait. One thing I love about the afternoons, the late afternoons, as long as there's no baseball game or anything big going on, trains are usually hella empty going into the city. But coming back, they're usually like packed like sardines. Found the water bottles here. This is the one that she had before, and this is the one I'll get for her. I have one of these. Mine's like this size. Mine's the yellow color. Actually, I got mine for free. Like it was outside of Whole Foods, and someone left it, and I just took it. So that's how I got mine. But I guess I'm buying my girlfriend one now. I've had so many of these water bottles. I've had this one. I still have this one at home, actually. And then the Kaleen canteens. I've had this one. I've had one of these too. No, one of these. These are pretty cool bottles. But the cool thing about the swirl bottles is you can put cold stuff or hot stuff in them. You can leave ice in these like all day. Like I've left ice in mine for 24 hours once. But then the glass one's only good for certain stuff. Like I thought this was really good for juices and stuff. And the Kaleen's really good for water. Well, I guess the swell is really good for water too. But the cool thing about the Kaleen is it's just really light. I don't know, it's just a different type of bottle. I think my favorite one is probably the Kaline, or this one. This one's pretty dope, but it's glass, so you can't really drop it. Actually, I've dropped mine quite a bit and it hasn't broke because it has this really thick plastic thing on it. But it's not like having a metal bottle. I've had so many of these water bottles. I've had this one. I still have this one at home, actually. And then the Kaline canteens. I've had this one. I've had one of these too. No, one of these. These are pretty cool bottles. But the cool thing about the swirl bottles is you can put cold stuff or hot stuff in them. You can leave ice in these like all day. Like I've left ice in mine for 24 hours once. But then the glass one's only good for certain stuff. Like I thought this was really good for juices and stuff. And the Kaline's really good for water. Well, I guess the swell is really good for water too. But the cool thing about the Kaline is it's just really light. I don't know, it's just a different type of bottle. I think my favorite one is probably the Kaline, or this one. This one's pretty dope, but it's glass, so you can't really drop it. Actually, I've dropped mine quite a bit and it hasn't broke because it has this really thick plastic thing on it. But it's not like having a metal bottle. I understand a lot of people out there may wonder, like, why pay $20 for a water bottle, or why pay $30 for a water bottle, or 40 or 50 bucks for a water bottle? Well, believe it or not, let's say you pay like 10 bucks for a water bottle. It will pay for itself really fast if you actually use it. If you go anywhere in San Francisco, let's say water's like $1 or $2. Well, that $10 water bottle, if you filled it up, if you went somewhere and filled it up, would pay for itself in like 10 fill-ups, all right? Now, a $50 water bottle is a little bit different, okay? Maybe you like the name, or maybe you like the style, or maybe you're looking for something else in a water bottle, like the hot and cold feature or something like that. But I guess that $50 is a little too much. $10, $20 is a decent price. Round two, you gotta take Bart back to the East Bay. And it's so many people in here, and I notice that every day it's so quiet. It's like people are like afraid to talk or something. But I don't care, I'll just walk around talking to my camera. See, look, it's so quiet in here. Like, no one talks. It's like, shh, this is a library. Don't talk. Public transportation, shh. So guys, this is like literally one of the only cities in the world where I see people waiting in line to get on a train. Like, where else do they do that? Like, they would never do that in New York. People just like crowd on like crazy. So what I usually do is like just wait off to the side. As soon as the train stops and the doors open, I just like get on. Because half of the people that are waiting in line, they're not even waiting for that train that's coming, they're waiting for the next train.